Hi, welcome to the video tutorial Spring Boot Hello World for Beginner with IntelliJ IDEA. With me, Nam Ming from CodeJava.net. Throughout this video, I will help you get started with Spring Boot by developing your first Spring Boot Hello World project using IntelliJ IDEA. So, what is Spring Boot? Spring Boot is a framework that makes it easy to create Spring-based applications. The key feature of Spring is allows you to create standalone and production grade Spring applications, which means that you will be able to create Java web applications running as a standalone application with an embedded server like Tomcat, Jetty, or Undertale, and Tomcat is a default embedded server for a Spring Boot application. Spring Boot uses the concept of starter dependencies to simplify build configuration. For example, for creating a Java web application, you need to specify only one starter dependency, Spring Boot starter web, and all the concrete dependencies will be handled by Spring Boot, so that we greatly simplifies build configuration for your project. And another benefit of using Spring Boot is that it provides automatic configuration of Spring and third-party libraries, so you don't have to waste your time on configuration steps. And Spring Boot is widely used in the industry because it provides production-ready features like metrics, health checks, and externalized configurations. And using Spring Boot, no code generation, no XML configuration, we develop a Spring-based application very quickly. So with these key features, Spring Boot is a number one choice for developing enterprise Java applications. Throughout this video tutorial, you will learn to develop the first Hello World Spring Boot project using IntelliJ IDEA with the following details. First, you code the home page and then create a Spring MVC controller with Thymeleaf template, and then I will show you how to write and run the unit test in Spring Boot, and you will learn to create a REST controller for RESTful web services. And finally, you will learn how to package and run the Spring Boot application. And in addition, you will learn to use the Spring Boot developer tools for the automatic restart of Spring Boot application and automatic browser refreshes whenever you make changes to your code. And to follow this tutorial, make sure that you have the following software programs installed on your computer. First is Java Development Kit JDK, and second is the IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate Edition. I recommend you to use the latest versions of JDK and IntelliJ IDEA. This is my IntelliJ IDEA. You see, I'm using the version 2019.3.3. Now let's create a new project for our first Hello World Spring Boot application. And in the new project dialog, select the Spring Initializer here. You can see I use Java version 1.8 here. Next, and here we must specify some information for the project metadata, group ID, and net.code Java. Artifact is hello Spring Boot, type Maven, language Java, packaging type Java, Java version 8, and version of the project 1.0. The name of the project, hello Spring Boot, description, hello world Spring Boot, and the package for our Java code is net.code Java. And click next, and in this screen we choose starter dependencies for our first Spring Boot project. You can see for creating a Java web application, just choose the Spring Web starter dependency here. You can see the description for Spring Web here. Build web including RESTful applications using Spring MVC. Uses Apache Tomcat as a default embedded container. And to use a Thymeleaf as a template engine, we check the starter dependency Thymeleaf here. So you see the selected dependencies here, web and template engines. You can also choose developer tools, Spring Boot DevTools starter dependency here to use automatic restart application whenever you make changes to the code. So click next, and here we specify the project name, hello Spring Boot. I change the project location. You see Spring Boot projects here. Okay, and note that you must append the project name to the path here. Okay, that's it, and click finish. Okay, close this tip of the day dialog. And since it is a Maven project, you should enable auto import for Maven projects. So click this enable auto import. Here we go. You can see our first Hello World Spring Boot project got created in IntelliJ IDEA here. And you can see the project and directory structure. Java code here, package here, and we have generated default main application of Spring Boot. And in the resources directory, we will boot Thymeleaf template files under this template directory, and the application.properties file is for configure Spring Boot applications. And you can see the Maven's view file pom.html here, and click the external library here, and there are a lot of jar files downloaded by Maven for Spring Boot application. You see that all these things are done automatically by Spring Boot. You don't have to do anything, so it's very convenient and quick and easy. Now let's open the POM file here, and you can see the dependencies for Spring Boot Starter here. You see Spring Boot Starter Thymeleaf, Spring Boot Starter Web, Spring Boot DevTools, Spring Boot Starter Test. Right now we can run our first Spring Boot application. Open the main class for Spring Boot application. Here you can see it is annotated with this annotation, Spring Boot application. Now we can run. Click here, run hello Spring Boot application. Here you see Spring Boot logo appears in the console view here. And you can see in the logging here, the name of the thread is restarted main, because we are using Spring Boot developer tools for automatic restart of the application whenever we make changes to our code. And you also can see live reload server is running on port 35792. Later I will show you how to configure, how to install an extension in the browser to use a live reload for automatic browser refresh. And then you can see to get started on port 8080 here with context path is empty. You see, context path is empty. Okay, so now we can access our Spring Boot application from browser. This is my Chrome browser, and I type the default URL of the Spring Boot application is http localhost port 8080. When we got an error page, a white label error page, because this application has no explicit mapping, and because we don't have any files for the home page. So let's create the home page for our first Spring Boot application. Since we are using Thymeleaf, so create our home page in the template directory here. Now I click here, new HTML file, and enter the name of the HTML file is index. Here we go, and change the title to home page, and in the body we have a heading, and this is a home page. Okay, that's it. Now let's refresh the browser. You see nothing changes after we make changes to our project, because the Spring Boot developer tools is not working very well in IntelliJ IDEA, so we need to do some extra steps to make the Spring Boot developer tool working. So go to the menu file, settings here, and open the section view execution deployment compiler, and check the option build a project automatically. Click OK. And then you need also to configure the red key of Spring of IntelliJ IDEA. Press the shortcut key and double shift or shift Control A. Click double shift to open the quick action. Here you see, and type registry, enter, and in this registry you make sure that you find this key. Compiler automate allow when app running, and check it to enable. Close. Okay, now let's try to refresh. And after applying some extra steps, we need to restart our application. You can trigger a build project to trigger so automatic restart hot swap restart of Spring Boot application. It's better to restart. Spring Boot DevTools is not working well in IntelliJ IDEA. Now refresh, and you can see our home page is updated. This is the home page. And let me show you how to install the live reload extensions to use the automatic browser refresh of Spring Boot DevTools. So head to the list page http live reload.com slash extensions. And here click the hyperlink for Chrome extension, and click the add to Chrome button here to install the live reload extension to use the automatic browser refresh of the Spring Boot DevTools. Add extension here. Okay, and then you can see the icon of the live reload extension here, a refresh icon here, and then you need to click to enable live reload. Refresh this page. It may take some time for the live reload icon connected to the application. Okay. So far we have created the home page, and now let's create a Spring MVC controller with Thymeleaf template. In the project here, we create a Spring Web MVC controller here. Right click on this package, new Java class. The class name is Web Controller. Yeah. And for a Spring MVC controller, use the controller annotation. And we create the first handler method, public string, say hello, and we use a annotation request mapping to map this handler method to a relative URL, for example /hello, and in the body of the handler method we just return the view name hello, which will be resolved to a Thymeleaf template. And in this body method we print a statement saying hello world Spring Boot. Okay, switch to browser. And you will see in the background the Spring Boot application automatically restarts. And click here and you can see the live reload extension is connected. Now in the home page we need to create a hyperlink. In the home page here, hyperlink. Click here. URL point to a relative URL handled by our handler method in the Spring MVC controller, which is /hello. And that's it. And switch to browser. And you see, it automatically refreshes the browser because of the live reload extension. And click here. And we got while label error page because you see, because we don't have any template file hello. Error resolving template hello. Template might not exist. So then we need to create our Thymeleaf template here. Right click, new HTML file. Hello, the name of the file, and must match the view name returned by the handler method here. Hello here. You can see Spring Boot IntelliJ is very smart. When I click the view name in the controller, it jumps directly to the template file here. We change the title to hello Spring Boot, and the body is welcome to Spring Boot with IntelliJ IDEA. That's it, and switch to browser and wait for a moment. And you see it automatically refreshes the browser, and now we see welcome message. The title of the page is hello Spring Boot, and the welcome message, welcome to Spring Boot with IntelliJ IDEA. Very good, right? In the console in IntelliJ IDEA, you can see the it prints saying hello world Spring Boot here from the handler method in the Spring MVC controller here. Now let's try to send a variable from the controller to the view. So we use a model interface in Spring MVC, and we add attribute. Name is message, and value is ratings. From main, for example, and in the Thymeleaf template, we access that message variable. So in the HTML tag, we specify the XML namespace for Thymeleaf http thymeleaf.org, and then we use a heading 2 with Thymeleaf attribute th text and equal to the name of the attribute message. That's it. And switch to the browser. You see, greetings from Nam Ha Minh. I don't have to press the refresh button. It automatically refreshes the browser. And you can see in the console, it automatically restarts the Spring Boot application. So we have done creating a Spring MVC controller with Thymeleaf template now. Well, let me show you how to run the JUnit test. By default, a Spring Boot comes with the JUnit 5. And in the test directory here, you see there's a generated test class for the project. Hello Spring Boot application test. Open it, and you can see the test method, test class, and you can see the Spring Boot test annotation is used to annotate this class, so we can test Spring Boot application. Here I show a very simple test to make sure that our Spring Web Controller is loaded or not. So we declare a web controller, our web controller here, controller using the auto while annotation. And in the test method context loads, we just assert that the controller is not null. Assertions dot assert that the object controller is not null. That's it, very simple. And now let's click here to run this test method. Run context loads. And you see the unit running and test passed. You see context load with the green check mark here in the test results view here, and you can see when the test running, it also start the Spring Boot application here. You see. Now let's create a REST controller for RESTful web services in Spring Boot with IntelliJ IDEA here. So right click here to create a new Java class. And the name of the class is web services controller. And for RESTful web services controller, we use a REST controller annotation of Spring framework, and we create a handler method string say REST, and we use annotation get mapping to map this handler method to a URL relative URL via HTTP post, for example /rest, and this RESTful web service simply return a string. Great. Let's take a REST with Spring Boot. And in the Thymeleaf template welcome page, we create a hyperlink that points to the RESTful web services. Take a REST hyperlink is /rest. Okay, you can see IntelliJ IDEA is very smart. It automatically suggests the this relative URL. REST is handled by the web services controller class. Double click and we will go to control click and we will go to the handler method here. Very convenient, right? I love using IntelliJ IDEA. It's very smart. And now we can test and switch to our browser and wait for a moment, and you see the hyperlink appears. Take a rest and click here, and you see this is a response from the RESTful web service at this URL /rest. Great, let's take a rest with the Spring Boot. Thank you, IntelliJ IDEA. And finally, you will learn how to package and run our Spring Boot application outside the IDE, outside IntelliJ IDEA. So the default packaging type of a Spring Boot application is jar file. You can see jar file. If no packaging attribute specified in the POM. So then open the Maven view here. You can see the button execute Maven Go here. Click and specify the Go name here. Package. Double click and Maven we build and package the project. You can see the test also running. You can see build success, and you can see the jar file created in this directory is Spring Boot project hello Spring Boot target here. So I open this directory in my computer. This is a project directory, and you can see here under the target folder here we have the jar file hello Spring Boot 1.0 here, and you can run this Spring Boot application as a standalone Java program. First we need to stop our application in the IntelliJ IDEA. Click here to stop. Let's try to refresh the browser, and it should display an error message because the server has stopped. And now open the command prompt or terminal, and we will run our Spring Boot application from command line. Change the current directory to the project directory. Change to the target directory, and type this command java ja, and then the jar file name. Enter. And you see the Spring Boot application is up and running. Yeah, you see. And now let's try to test in browser. This is the home page. Click here, and you see the greetings message, greetings from Nama Ming, and take a rest. And this is a response from the REST controller. And in the console, press Ctrl C to terminate the Spring Boot application. You see, it is terminated. And let's try to refresh the browser, and we got an error page here. The site can't be reached. Okay, just how to run our Spring Boot application outside IntelliJ IDEA from command line. And you can also just double click on the jar file name to run our Spring Boot application. Double click, but no console appears. It will run in the background. You can verify by refresh the browser now. You see, this is the home page. Click here, take a rest, and to terminate this Spring Boot application running in the background, you need to terminate the Java W process in the task manager here. Java. Here you can see there are 3 Java processes. And so let's see which application point to which process. IntelliJ IDEA here. This is a process of IntelliJ IDEA. And for Java we have 3 processes here. I think it is a Java w.exe here. So click and process. And let's try to refresh the browser here. You see, now we got an error. So that's how to run our Spring Boot application as a standalone Java program by double clicking the Java file. So far you have learned what Spring Boot is and developed the first Hello World Spring Boot application using IntelliJ IDEA. I hope you found this video tutorial helpful to help you get started quickly and easily with Spring Boot. And you see that IntelliJ IDEA makes it very convenient to develop Spring Boot applications. Thank you for watching, and click subscribe button to get updates on my Java programming.